Also, or remove. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's 2:30 p.m. It's a Wednesday afternoon. We're in Sweden, 2:30 p.m. Swedish. And guess what? It's a live broadcast here. Oh, look at this. We've got a double screen behind us as well. I'm going to get seasick with me seeing myself behind me. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Hi, everyone. Donny here, 2:30 p.m. Swedish. Innovation Fika, live at KTH Innovation. This is different. I usually do it at my desk with people, online. But I actually have two guests in the big arena here. KTH Innovation, Teknikringen 1, Stockholm. And we have a live audience. 1,000 people are here listening. Yay! Listen, you can hear the cheer. It's amazing. Wait, just wait. I mean, we'll do this like every Wednesday now on until come Christmas, there will be 1,000 people there. They'll be standing outside. They'll be, all the way down to Vallaravägen here. Anyway, Donny here. Follow me on LinkedIn, Donny Asilegonis, for updates on Innovation Fika. Go live on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch. Also follow me on LinkedIn for a daily post on innovation, startups, entrepreneurship, innovation, anything about that. Today's post was actually post number 365. So in theory, I have posted every day for 1 year. I've spent 2.5 years doing it. But in theory, I now have 365 posts on startups and innovation and new thinking. Today's post was Dare to suck. You have to dare to admit that you cannot do something well enough. And just by doing that, you can start improving. So check out that post. Follow me on Medium as well, where all of my posts, all of the videos, I mean, this is episode 23 of my Innovation Fika. So I've got 23 videos there, 365 posts, and lots of stupid articles. But anyway, enough about me. The big main attraction today is, apart from the wonderful audience here today, is of course Univid, Jonathan and Erik from Univid, alumni from KTH Innovation, and super successful entrepreneurs on their way to be, at least. Tell me first, welcome to the arena, welcome to Teknikringen 1.
Thanks.
What is Univid? We'll start there.
Yeah, thank you so much for that energetic intro. Always nice with your energy. Yeah, I'm Jonathan. This is
I'm Erik.
We're from Univid.
Yep.
So we basically have developed an event platform to make online events a bit more interactive, a bit more beautiful, and a bit more easy to use, so to say. So that's essentially our journey, or we've been on our journey from KTH Innovation, and now we're at Sting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
So, but when did you come up with what you just described was an event platform for broadcasting events. It feels like, we've heard that before, but you felt there was place for one more. How did you come up with the actual idea? And by the way, ask comments. I can get comments up on the screen here. So comment on the live chat or put your hand up in the audience and ask questions. This is a whole Q&A thing going on. When did you get the idea? How did you get the idea?
Yeah, great question. That was back when we were both KTH students, actually. So about 2.5 years ago. And it was essentially back then kind of more of an educational platform. So we found out that KTH lectures were not very interactive, so to say. You attended a lot of lectures that didn't have this kind of digital layer on top, so to say. So you couldn't watch them afterwards. You couldn't watch them live if you didn't have the opportunity to attend. And we thought it would be a great thing to have an online platform for these lectures. So that's kind of where the idea started. And we developed it with some paid pilot projects with KTH, and developed on that for quite a while together with teachers and students.
Yeah, but it started as a student-teacher interaction thing.
Yeah.
And when did you realize that it could do more and actually do events and commercial things? When did that sort of come to you?
Do you want to jump in?
Yeah, sure. So essentially, it was about 1 year ago through a contact from you, Donny, as it usually is. No, but we got in contact with an event firm that was going to run an event with Facebook, and that was sort of when we ran that event. It was very successful. The event firm was super happy, Facebook was super happy, and the studio too. So, I think that was the start of our kind of new journey, or the pivot towards private events.
Yeah.
And since then, we've been doing more and more, and improving every day.
Yeah. And how many are you today at Univid in the team?
We're taking in a few people now. So a sales associate and also a design person. So we'll be 4 here very shortly.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And today you're in Sting. What is Sting? Just so people understand where you are now.
Well, I guess it's kind of the next step from KTH Innovation. So it's also like it's more like an incubator and accelerator. So kind of KTH Innovation on steroids.
On steroids, yeah. Well, and I guess explain as well that Sting is an incubator. As you said, the next step after us, and everybody we work here at KTH Innovation are, in practice, part-time entrepreneurs. I mean, you're either studying or doing research, and then after us, when you start getting going and you move into something like Sting, that's when you sort of start going full-time on something. So if you spend like a couple of hours per week, well, you probably won't, but on your idea whilst at KTH Innovation, you'd spend days per week when you move into Sting. I mean, that's the big difference. You're sort of ramping up. So what are you doing? What's happening now? Where is Univid now? Customers, fun things going on? Any cool events happening? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to get kind of the cadence up now with the amounts of events we're running, and also kind of the amounts of different customers as well. So like next week we have probably like 5 or 6 different like customers running about 20 events or 25 events.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty huge for us. Like from having like an event every once in a while.
But how many can you handle? Are you still doing anything like that, or is it like a fire and forget thing? You sign up online and everything works. And how far are you sort of in your development and tech there?
We're getting more and more like automatic.
Yeah.
So it's like that's really a journey for us. Like at the beginning, being like present at each of the events and kind of helping out with the kind of tech and setting up the event beforehand and designing it even. But nowadays it's more like the kind of event firm or organizers handle that all themselves, and we are usually there with some like technical support or stuff like that still. But it's kind of an evolution.
Yeah. But your big thing is to make events look better and also feel better, because it's a lot of interaction going on as well. Because that was one of the big things that you pushed for when I said, but guys, I've heard this before. And you said, no, you haven't heard this before, right? It was the interaction part. What?
Exactly.
Please elaborate.
Yeah, I mean, you can interact in a lot of event platforms out there, but I think what we do we make it really like aggregated in one place and really simple. So oftentimes you kind of have Mentimeter maybe as a complement to Zoom if you want really good polls, but that's something we kind of bring into the entire experience. We connect it with some like gamification. We have some live reactions and all of that. So it's kind of a more immersive and gathered experience in one place.
And you've been working with the KTH library, broadcasting the TEDx KTH Saloon event, the last one, right?
Yep.
And you're doing another one, is it next week? Next week on Tuesday?
Tuesday, maybe, yeah.
Tuesday the 12th, lunch, like around 12. There is a TEDx KTH Saloon event run by the library, and will be run on Univid's platform.
Yep.
And the topic next week is sustainability and equality. So everybody tune into that as well. TEDx KTH Saloon. Check out the library's page, and also it's on the kth.se page as well for anyone out there. As I said, as usual, questions are welcome in the comments. We're getting some here's a question here. Wonderful. Let's see. This is interesting. Here's one from Elise online here. How much security issues do you have? Do you have security issues?
Well,
yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah. Obviously, like a couple of our competitors, mainly within the like meeting sector, has had some troubles, and so this is something that we work a lot on. Like we also ran the Almedalsveckan this summer, so it's definitely something that we had to improve on a lot, but so far no security issues. We use the latest and the best security out there. So yeah, let's hope it stays that way.
Thank you, and thank you for asking that question, Elise. Please keep the questions coming here. You mentioned Almedalsveckan.
Yeah.
I think we were I won't say shocked, but we were very positively surprised at KTH Innovation when you said, "Oh, by the way, we've signed the biggest political get-together meetup in Sweden every year to run all of their events." How on earth did you manage to bag Almedalsveckan as a customer, as a client?
Yeah. Do you have the answer?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one of maybe our kind of not tips, but kind of general things is that kind of you put yourself in the way of serendipity.
Yeah.
So kind of make big bets, and I guess that was one of them. So that was essentially a public procurement that they looked for a platform, and we made a kind of a offer, so to say, on what like an idea of what it would look like on Univid, how we would do the event or 700 events, and how that would the process would go about. And they, I guess, really liked our offer in from the kind of formal standpoint, and then they took some interviews with us as a team, which was us two,
Everything just sounds so easy. I mean, it's like when you talk to people who succeed with things, it's like, yeah, well, you know, you work your butt off for 10 years, night and day, and then suddenly one day you're considered an overnight success. And it's we built a platform, we went to Donny, and then we got Facebook, and then we got Almedalsveckan, and it's like nice ramp up there, guys. So well done, well done. So what's the next big thing? What's the next sort of dream client you'd want to, get in if you could sort of make a wish?
I think in general, like a lot of the tech companies out there is definitely good clients for us.
Yeah.
So like continue working with clients like Facebook and Spotify. They're really on top of their game and making their event game really great as well.
Okay. Well, if anybody's listening here, you know where to find the guys. Okay. Are there any questions from the audience or any questions from anyone else? Hand up, sir. Yes.
Yeah. What are your backgrounds? Because I'm guessing you both are very technical founders, right? But do you have really the expertise associated with building an online platform, or did you outsource that?
I'll just repeat the question for the question was, what is their background? Yeah. They sound like they're both technical founders. What else came into it to be able to build the platform? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, well, we both are engineers from KTH in industrial engineering and management, but I think we both wanted a more technical speciality. So we selected the computer science master, and I think that's part of how we learned how to build a platform. But I mean, going into it, neither of us actually knew how to build it. So we've learned a whole lot just by doing it. We never built such a thing before. Obviously, we just graduated last year. So yeah, we learned a lot on the job. I think that's
which is again from me a very humble answer, because when you see what they perform, because I've seen them working with not only clients but also with the KTH library as well, and the library goes, well, we wish we could do this and this and this, and the guys go, well, let's see, and then the day after they send them an email going, you mean like this, and it just works. So very humble approach to two Swiss Army knives, definitely, I'd say. But that was anyway the concrete answer to that question. Any other questions? Please keep them coming. Anything else? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Please do.
How long did it take you since you first have an idea to have a minimal viable product?
Yeah, you mean from the actual idea to an MVP, or how long time did it take? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you made it sound like we've just been on this track. We've been doing a bunch of stuff, and you know that too.
I know.
We've been building. It started out as this edtech solution, and part of that was to facilitate for teachers to actually record their lectures. So it all basically started out with us building a hardware product. So that was maybe for a year of doing only that almost. So that was how it started. But then we kind of realized, no, that's not the way to go. We need to build software. So, and then we built some stuff there. We went back and forth. So it wasn't this straight journey from idea to product. But to answer it more precisely, I guess we've been working on it for about two and a half years now.
Yeah, that's great. And I think the kind of key for us along this way of kind of taking turns has been kind of to really validate all the time with customers. Like at first it was like a lot of teachers, so we probably ran like 50 or 100 different kind of interviews and demos of the platform with teachers and students. So that was kind of really important to kind of gauge and build the right kind of things. And then eventually that became event hosts and event participants. And then we kind of worked together with them to kind of build something people actually want in some way.
Yeah, but I think that's important to elaborate on as well, because as you said, it started off over here and then it went like, you know, it's always like this, and then the pivot over here, and you started with a camera hardware solution that you were going to put in actual lecture halls, and then now suddenly, and then you quick forward to now when you're something completely different. But that also has been a really, I use you as a good role model for many things. Not only working hard and doing good work, but also the constant, evaluation and validation of your idea towards potential customers. And then, I'd say one of the biggest challenges you have as an early stage entrepreneur is should we pivot or should we persevere? I mean, how much should we push on what we believe in, and how much should we change because people are saying we should do something else? And I think you've had a good sort of guiding light, but you've been able sort of to change direction and match what the needs are in a very good way.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, this summer we removed actually a part of the platform that we've had for a long time and that we built on for a long time, because we realized this is not exactly how the users use the platform. So then it's a bit of a kill your darling kind of situation. So,
which is also really hard to do when you fall in love with a feature or a product, but realizing that it's not being used, and actually, take it away.
Yeah. Just keep the essentials that the customers love. I think that's the core.
That's a really good, keep the essentials that the customers love. That sounds like a good sort of ending thing. Yeah, really good. Right. Okay, but coming up to the end here, we never let the guests go without actually giving us their top 3 tips of what they feel they want to share with. So I know you've brought top 3 tips for anybody listening or anybody watching the replay of the video on any of the channels. And I will let you dig into top 3 tips. Tip number 1, what would that be? Do things that don't scale.
Exactly. I guess that's kind of a very general or like classic advice you see in like YC and all of those kind of channels. But I think for us, it's been really valuable to kind of really satisfy some customers and make users love your product essentially, and really like validate together with them, build what they really like, even though you might not think all of the parts with like customer success with each customer is really scalable and will stay that way forever. It's still really important, because then you really make those customers really like, the mouth-to-mouth spreads really fast. They like it, they like pass it on to different other customers, and you can grow that way really efficiently. And after a while, you can also make the platform good enough to be able to automate those different things. So I think that's been a key point in being able to compete with the big players out there. In a very
because you've been able to work really focused and customized to a customer and their demands, and then from there you built a scalable solution on top of that sort of
yeah, exactly.
Okay, and tip number 2, just do it. That's another classic. But what does that mean for you?
I think for us, it means not planning too much. You can't really, think your way to a good product. You have to actually try and do stuff. So, just build a prototype, MVP, get it out there to the customers, and don't think too much. I think that's the core. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Sometimes we overthink. As engineers, we have a tendency of overthinking everything and making everything ever so complicated. And sometimes we just have to go do and just try something.
Yeah.
As I said, dare to suck, as I said, right? You don't know everything day one. And the last one, top 3 tips from Univid, make big bets. Right. Yeah, you mentioned that one in your in the discussion before as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I think that kind of summarizes it, to kind of really put yourself in a position where good things can happen, even though there might be related to some chance or not be the biggest probability of actually occurring, but it could be a really great outcome. And that's been, for example, like with Almedalsveckan for us, to actually make that application for that, even though we thought it might not be the biggest chance we get it, but we still want to try. And that's really worth it oftentimes in the end when you have put yourself out there for those kind of big bets, and yeah, that's often leads to good things.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you go around dreaming about working with a client and you never ask that client to, then it's never going to happen. So just do it and go for it, as you said as well.
And there's another point to it. I think that's like we, as I guess most of us are students, we have a different view of money than the companies do. So I mean, a lot of times they're to charge a bit more than you think. Like charge a lot, and then if they say it's too expensive, then just lower the price. But why not take the chance?
Don't start by lowering the price yourself. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Dare to actually ask for money. That's important because that's something that we've been working on as well. Is you have to, if you have something that you're delivering of quality, just because you're students doesn't mean it has to be cheap.
No.
It still has to. So yeah, that's really good. Thank you so much. Fantastic top 3, really good tips, really good conversation. And as you know, everyone else out there, this is a weekly coffee break, live broadcast innovation Fika show. So I'm really happy to have had you in the studio, in the arena, Technique Arena 1, where we are now, live back on track after kind of back on track after the pandemic. So we have Erik and Jonathan of Univid. Please check them out online. Follow them on LinkedIn. They are doing great things, and they're off to do greater things. They'll be around for a Q&A for anybody that wants to have a chat with them afterwards. For everyone there online, thanks for tuning in. And next week, Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Swedish, Innovation Fika. You know where to find me, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. Check it out. We'll be broadcasting on KTH Innovation's channels coming forward as well. This is going to spread. It will be thousands of people. Don't worry about that. Okay, thanks everyone. We are now going to end the broadcast. Thank you, Jonathan, Erik. And